Yeah.
I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. Man. I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Now, since 2015, the champs of the SWAC and the MEAC linking up in Atlanta at the Celebration Bowl during mid-December. The SWAC has won back-to-back contests. Off to the A we go. Prairie View representing the SWAC this year, trying to make it 3 in a row. This game was lopsided in the first half. PV already up 14-0 when Cam Peters connects with Josiah Rockwell on the back shoulder throw. Prairie View on top 21-0 at the break. But South Carolina State, they lost their quarterback, but here comes the backup. Ryan Stubblefield finds Jordan Smith wide open. That's a 19-yard score. All of a sudden, the game is tied at 21. Let's go to the fourth quarter now. Game tied at 28. It's Peters with the nice pass to Cam Bonner, and look how fast he runs down the field. 78-yard touchdown. Prairie View up 35-28. 2 minutes to go. But Stubblefield could not be stopped. Watch, he connects with Smith once again right here for the 10-yard score. His third of the game. Game tied at 35. We go to overtime. In the fourth OT, Stubblefield will find Tyler Smith in the flats. He extends the ball across the top of the pylon, not inside of it. The play was reviewed, and it was upheld for a score. So South Carolina State leads 40-38. Last chance for PV. Cam Peters had 447 total yards and 5 touchdowns. He needed 450 to extend the game, but he is stopped 3 yards short. South Carolina State erases that 21-point lead and wins the Celebration Bowl for the MEAC in 4 overtimes, 40-38. Let's hear from Coach Chennis Berry.
When we went into the season this year, we had about hashtag. It's called HTR, hold the rope. And when adversity strike, who's going to let it go? And none of those young men let it go today. They believed in each other. They never wavered. Even when we went down 21-0, we found a way to be the 2025 HBCU national champions.
Never, ever sue the driver.
This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Let me give credit to Mo Carter for his opening broadcast monologue. Friend of the show, professional, wanted to share him some love and open it up in terms of what everybody in the HBCU sports culture was watching last night, and I'm sure many others that were not. With that being said, let me do this appropriately. Welcome to episode 756 of the Inside HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU dashboard. All things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the NEIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs in the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, along with my co-host, Mike Washington. Charles Bishop is in the air, should be landing shortly. See if we can sneak him in there, maybe, but highly unlikely. But wanted to make sure we give him a shout out. And we have AD Drew, one of the hardest working men in the HBCU sports business. Yes, I said it. We're filming from our home studios and sending a signal live, as we always do, and recognizing the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, Ralph Cooper, multi-Hall of Famer Ralph Cooper, in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. Today's episode of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab is sponsored by THG Agency. THG Agency, a company that provides sporting, educational, consulting, and data analytics. We're going to show one more film, which is unfortunately probably some of the talk of the day. This is courtesy of The Athletic, which is providing a tweet, I think it is, social media update. We'll actually save the discussion for later in the show, but we'll show it now.
Show it now. All right. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, Doc.
As we're doing that to pull it up, shout out to all the lab listeners out here. Here we go.
Uh,
With that being said, Mike, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, Doc. How you doing? Licking my wounds a little bit, but at the same time, thankful for such a terrific celebration bowl. That game was phenomenal. No matter what side you were cheering for, it took all kinds of ebbs and flows and bounces. And if you're on heart medication or blood pressure medication, whatever kind of medication, you needed it yesterday. So, other than that, I'm doing well and getting ready to head off, but the culminating event to a wonderful season.
Yeah, well said in so many different ways. AD Drew, how are you?
you talk about all that medication, Mike. So I'll start off with my pharmaceutical requests. Those include Tylenol, or some type of naproxen, and some icy hot for the miles that I put on my legs walking around that stadium all day yesterday, trying to take care of the different media members who were down there. And yes, it was a great game. And I'll say this, one of the things that i- in my role with the Celebration Bowl is a lot of times I'm at the game and do not get to actually watch the game.
Right.
And I was in the media room when I finally made it back to the media room at halftime, and there are certain things that I needed to get done during the third quarter. When I sat down at my computer to get things done, it was 28-0. I'm just typing. I'm not paying attention because I'm in my own world. I look up, it's 21-28, and I, phone call, something happened, text something, and then I look up again. It's 28-28. I'm like, what? I asked somebody next. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Because I was in my own world, and I'll be honest with you, the only plays that I saw were overtime because I had to be on the field at overtime. That's the only part of the game. So I am looking forward to going back and actually watching this game. And I cannot wait to see especially the last hour of that particular game and into overtime. Not one, not two, not three, but four of them. Oh my God. Instant classic. And sometime down the line, will making celebration bowls ever. I, I wonder where this was gonna fall. We can't do it right now because we have recency bias. But I wonder where this celebration bowl is going to fall on that list.
I think we can. I think this one
Absolutely.
is going to go to the top of the list. Obviously, some others certainly are in the argument. When you almost by definition you get a full overtime, it's just hard not to go near the top of the list. But anyway, it's what we do. It'll be for debate, and that's great debate. Just like we have the listeners and lab nesters jumping out here with the debate that they'll have, and this debate will go on for a long time. It will be in the lure of HBCU sports fans. On a very positive note for South Carolina State, and congratulations to them in terms of the championship. We're looking forward to bringing on head coach Chennis Berry to formally congratulate him, and we'll give our updates on in the next segment who we listen at the championship for Inside HBCU Sports Lab. which it should not be a surprise. But yeah, it had everything, ebbs and flows. People talking about 21, nothing. Uh,
Yeah.
People are focused on the kicker, fumbles that were not called, good plays about getting to the line, comeback, big catches. Just about everything was in the game.
Yeah.
Look like you are lining up for a championship field goal, and all the motions are right there, and you see it, and it goes just wide right, and all of a sudden you like got to keep playing. You got a dive at the post, called a touchdown. Some people see it the other way, replayed it, delays it, creates the drama and heightens up. Weird thing about this game is obviously rooting interest in a lot of ways for the game, which is a different stuff. Mike, I would say that obviously Charles has had that literally 3 of the last 4 years,
Yep.
having to deal with both sides of it, falling to a lot of the spoils of victory. So it was you have to come down to get ready to get on the floor, but they won't allow you if you just do the media, not the photography part. You're not on the floor. So obviously, Mike and I are coming down. So we go to the media room, set up. And fortunately, in the media room, they had the big screen in there. So you're watching the highs and lows, comments of people in the media room preparing for the post game. And then you get the post game with the college athletes, the coaches from the team that lost, as well as the team that won. And you see the range of emotions. So it's fascinating to be able to have that inside there. Shout out to Coach Barry. His comments in terms has gone much viral, at least in the HBCU-based world, and he personally gave me a shout out. So I certainly are humbled and appreciative about that, folks that recognize the diligence that you put in this that you don't always get. We'll get a chance to get a little more into the details of the game. But any quick thoughts that you have, AD, in terms of the experience part of what a lot seeing the HBCU sports culture since you didn't get to see the game? What did you think about the HBCU sports culture component of people coming together to be able to witness a game of this magnitude?
Well, I'll start off with this. Uh, I had an opportunity to get down on the concourse level because of some stuff I had to do, and didn't realize I walked around the entire stadium at one point. Look, I was looking for something, look for a specific entry point, and instead of making a left, I made a right, and I actually wound up walking the entire concourse of the stadium. And when doing that, obviously I'm seeing some people bump to a couple of people who I do out in the concourse, but I'm looking at the number of paraphernalia not specifically affiliated with
Yeah.
either of these institutions playing. I'm going to take that one step further. Not even affiliated with the specific conferences. You know, I saw A&T. I saw Hampton. I saw Savannah State. I saw Morris Brown, Morehouse, Clark Atlanta, Spelman,
Yep.
Johnson C. I saw some Tuskegee. I saw I'm not even gonna go because I did see representation from within the conferences, so I'm not gonna name all those. But I was just naming some of the people outside these two conferences, and everybody was there just enjoying themselves and just doing what we do at a football game. And I'll say this for
Well,
me,
let me let Mike get in here so make sure we hit this first break. So we're going to start.
I'll make it real quick. For me, the greatest thing that I had an opportunity to bring some students over Morehouse and Clark, from Morehouse, Clark Atlanta, and Spelman to get the experience of taking part in the game operations of a game of this magnitude and the eye-opening experience that you see when they saw this and what they were able to gain out of it. That was the biggest thing for me from a culture point.
Good stuff. Let's take our first break. Come back on the other side. Mike, I'll let you talk about that on the other side as we get into the top 7 breakdown and the final score of the matchup.
Gotcha.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically Black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. I was gonna ask for Mike to come back with his comments, but seems like he's probably had some internet. We'll see if we can get him back in here as we get into it. Mike, you wanted to open up with your comments on the sports culture. I know one of your things that is kind of excites me. I shouldn't say kind of, actually excites me. Right after halftime, beginning the third quarter, you like to go into the concourse to really get a framework of the spirit of how people are enjoying or how they are watching the game. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so that's kind of become a ritual for me, as you know, Doc. And I went down to the concourse, and as AD was saying, I was standing next to somebody with an NCCU jacket on, somebody on the other side with a Spelman jacket on, and then of course there was Jackson State, but then there was Morehouse, and then I saw 2 or 3 Jackson State, then I saw a Grambling, and so I got into some verbal jarring. I won't get into the details with the Jackson State folks because it was more of them down there. But I was letting them have it, and they would let me have it. But it was all in jest. So I will say I won, but they will say they won. But anyway, but it was just good to be down in the mix of what I call the HBCU brother and sisterhood, because we can talk about each other, but nobody else can. And can't nobody talk about each other like we can. But that from a culture standpoint, it was really good to be down there, to walk through the stands and everything. Everybody, they saw I had my cowboy hat on. They were like, "Wait, never mind. We know where you from." So it sparked a lot of debate. And after the verbal jarring, there was a lot of conversation. One of the listeners put something about my wife said this, and I never checked it out. She said that it was on the top number 2 or 3, the game, in terms of Twitter topics as well. So from a culture and exposure standpoint, I thought that was good, and I wanted to point that out as well.
Absolutely. Really good. All right, so let's bring up the rankings and the scores so we can go through this final HBCU football game. Boy, it came so quick. Let's see if we maybe can have some superlatives for key players in the game. I think where that will go, obviously. But with that being said, let's get to that first score, and this is Big Ben Award. It might be a no contest who's going to get that award, but we will score. And 4, Delaware State and Alabama State, respectively. Number 3 is Jackson State Tigers. As we look at the Week 15 scoreboard, the big game, Cricket Celebration Bowl, is what it was to be. 4 OT final with South Carolina State just edging out Prairie View A&M. So the Bulldogs improved to 10-3, 5-0 with their number 1 ranking on the line. And Prairie View, the Panthers fall to 10-4, 7-1 is what they did in conference play. As you see, the score was 40-38. And again, one thing that makes this mesmerizing is the fact that it had 4 overtimes. Second time the Cricket Celebration Bowl in its 10-year stance has gone to overtime. First time that it's gone to 4. In terms of some of the big matchups, was Cameron Peters set a Celebration Bowl record, throwing for over 400 yards, 412 to be exact. 4 touchdowns. He was 24 of 36, did not have an interception. Then you look on the other side, while Atkins started out slow. He was 79-45, got injured, but the backup Brian Stubblefield came in, was 15 to 29, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, did have the interception, but obviously coming in the game to steady the ship. To lead the team back to an ultimate victory was big, fascinating. Neither team could really rush. South Carolina State Bulldogs rushed for 70. The Panthers rushed for 51 yards in terms of that matchup. And of those 51 yards, Cameron Peters had 35 of them, just to give you some indication. But the damage was done in the air, so you have to look at Jordan Smith. 9 receptions for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the long 32 that seemed to come up with big play after big play. Andrew Dennis, 7 receptions, 131 yards, got in the end zone once. Cameron Bonner, 2 catches for 91 yards, got in the touchdown himself once. He had the long of 78, that big play. Josiah Rockwell, where he went down the sideline, was Bonner. Josiah Rockwell got into action. You saw the touchdown in the highlights. He was 6 receptions for 71 yards, the long of 28. Other guys got in there too, including Rodney Ojo, which had 70 yards, 3 receptions with a long of 37. So big plays in this matchup. You did have the fumble by Bigman, which was lost, but none by South Carolina State. Defense come to play with big tackles, big plays throughout the game. With that, you did have the tough day by the field goal kicker that was challenging in terms of Prairie View missing 2 field goals, 1 in overtime in terms of crucial kicks. Shout out to the kicking of South Carolina State. They got it done. With that being said, let's move into the poll rankings. We're going to move through this pretty fast because nothing changes really at the bottom with those receiving votes. Not a team dropped out this week, so you will keep your top 7 in terms of what that looks like. Those receiving votes still Texas Southern and Bethune-Cookman. As we move into number 7 was Grambling State Tigers. Finished the season, as you know, at 7-5, 4-4. You have number 6 is North Carolina Central Eagles. 8-4 and 3-2. Grambling out of the SWAC, Eagles out of the MEAC. Then you get back into the MEAC with Delaware State Hornets. Magical season for them, 8-4, just falling short in a de facto championship game, the last game of the season for the MEAC play, which was against South Carolina State, and they are there at 5. 4-3. At number 4, you have Alabama State Hornets at 10-2, 7-1. One of 3 teams with 10 wins on the season at the major division level. You have Jackson State Tigers that come in at 9-3, 7-1. And you have the Prairie View and the Panthers that go to 10-4, 7-1 on the total season. And as we get into that top spot, we look at number 1, which should not be a surprise to anybody, which is South Carolina State. The Bulldogs 10-3, 5-0. They get all 12 first place votes. So consensus champions, unanimous champions. The South Carolina State Bulldogs earned Dr. Cavill's 2025 HBCU Major Division Football National Championship. This is their second one in 5 years. So big time. Kudos to the Bulldogs of the MEAC. They snapped the SWAC that had won 2 straight cricket celebration bowls, and they represent the MEAC getting it done. So, gentlemen, tip your caps. But with that being said, what are your thoughts in terms of the poll rankings? I think it's pretty obvious, but you can do it this way. I kind of talked about a couple of players, helmet stickers. You can do that. Yeah, be careful. I don't want to get into the way too early poll rankings. I'm going to save it to the last segment. Final poll rankings there. With that, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so I'll start, I guess, since we'll talk about the poll rankings a little bit later. I'll start off talking about unexpected big-time performers. Jordan Smith, that 9 receptions for 152 yards, big. And just in a single half, you talk about Stubblefield coming in They're making a change. You heard the coach that they've made changes between William Atkins the fourth, and Stubblefield, throughout the season. But for Stubblefield to come in under the situation to lead his team, he had 234 yards, 15 for 29 was big. You have to tip your hat to Cameron Peters. He didn't have any interceptions. And to throw, if any other quarterback, if you close your eyes and they said he went 24 or 25 for 36 or something like that, 412 yards, 4 TDs, had accounted for almost 400 yards of the Panthers offense, you'd say he won. And unfortunately, it just didn't pan out that way. So if I had to give a helmet sticker, I'm going Cameron Peters and Jordan Smith by far.
Let's take our next break. We'll come back on the other side. We have our guest in the building. We'll bring him on for a segment. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this next break.
At AutoMasters LLC, our mission is to serve our community by providing quality automobiles at affordable prices. All of our vehicles are inspected and certified to offer you the confidence in knowing you have a quality vehicle. Our goal is to provide you with a seamless process and positive experience for your automobile purchase. Financing recommendations and specific vehicle inquiries are available at your request. You can find us at www.automasters06.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Also, please feel free to contact Terrence Miles at 601-927-7794. And oh yeah, tell him Sonia sent you.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Kenyatta Cavil of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. The champ is here. The champ is here. Coach Barry, I appreciate you getting up early this morning to get with us. I know you have a lot of places, a lot of things you could be doing, but we're cherished that you chose to give us a couple of minutes to talk about this championship game, Cricket Celebration Bowl. You say I have my South Carolina State Bulldogs eyes on to make sure I'm representing appropriate for the champion. I had a chance to go to campus going to a conference up there. And one of the things I try to do is I visit different HBCUs through the season. So we get a chance to really get into the spirit and the culture because they're so magnificent when you talk about overall coaches, the conferences, but more importantly, the HBCU sports culture, as I like to call it, across. There's uniqueness about each. And then we have in the background, I have you holding up the Cricket Celebration Bowl championship trophy. I got a chance to snack that picture as they hand it to you and the smile on your face with your wife right there. Enormous, and all the team celebrating you. Well done on the season and getting that final win to culminate what we already knew that you were doing. Welcome to the show, Coach.
I'm glad to be here, man. It's great. As I woke up this morning, man, I just started giving God all the glory, man, just because it's a great deal, man. Just be sitting here right now as a national champ. So just congratulations to all my players, my coaches, man, the whole Bulldog Nation, man, on finding a way to secure this victory. So to God be the glory, man.
I appreciate that, and amen to that. I did want to ask you before I share. Again, we recognized you also as the HBCU National Championship. I'm sure that'll be across the board on many different measures. But I wanted to ask you specifically about the highs and lows of the game. I've heard you talk about the ministry of young people, and how life oftentimes has the highs and lows. How do you show that from the leadership position, not to get too low, not to get high, but stay that evil current so everybody else follows you, and how that really resonates in this game about being down at halftime and then storming back in the second half to get it done?
Well, first of all, like I say, I want to give kudos first and foremost to Prairie View A&M University, Coach Jackson. Well coached football team, man. Really good football team. The reality is, man, it could have went either way. Obviously we had a slow start. They had a fast start. And they came out with it on their mind, and we started a little slow, and there's no excuses, no explanation. We just, when I went in at halftime, I just let the young men know in our program, good things are going to happen in the game of football. Bad things are going to happen in the game of football. It's a championship game, but you just got to play the next play. But you got to believe, man. Ultimately, at the end of the day, man, you got to believe in the process and just trust the process. It's kind of some of the things that we talk about in the program. So, we have a 1-0 philosophy. All right, that's just win the day. All right, just win the day, win the moment. All right, you can't get it back. All right, so we kind of keep these young men level-headed. So don't look ahead, don't look behind. Just go 1-0 for that moment, man. So, all in all, I'm just grateful, man. Like I said, it could have went either way. I told Coach Jackson, got a chance to see him yesterday after the game, and I told him he's a really good ball coach, really good staff. He's got a really good football team, and they're going to win a lot of games. The reality is they're special. They got a good team. And like I say, it's a heavyweight championship, heavyweight fight, so, they're going to make plays. We're going to make plays. They're going to swing. We're going to swing. But when you get two good HBCUs from the SWAC and one from the MEAC, and let the chips fall where they may, it just, we were the better team on that day. Guys never wavered, and that's kind of been who we've been all season, to be honest, man. We faced adversity. This team right here was built for this moment. It really just happened. Because it's been from when we first started putting this puzzle together, man, back in January, after we walked off that field last year, the journey started right then. It didn't start this summer when we started, getting guys into training camp. It started back when, we came back for the very first team meeting after we lost in the Celebration Bowl last year, just putting this puzzle together. And it's definitely been a puzzle. This has probably been one of my most satisfying years as a coach. And I've been doing this for a long time because of from whence we come. We were, we didn't have a whole lot coming back. A lot of those guys that played yesterday weren't on our team last year, or they didn't play. They may have been on the team, but they didn't have any significant amount of time. So it's just grateful, man. I'm just sitting here this morning. It really didn't hit me until this morning when I woke up. Wow.
That's real talk. I appreciate you sharing all of that, Coach. That's what
it didn't hit me. It didn't hit me till this morning. So grateful to be sitting here, man, and only because of you, man. And I'm doing this interview right now, Dr. Cavil, because you've been consistent throughout, man. And trust me, I could be still. This is the only day in the whole 365 days that I get a chance to sleep in, man. But I got up for you, man. Because normally I'm up working on the next opponent, man. But for you, man, I'm doing this for you because you've been a true person of support throughout my whole career, not just since I've been in South Carolina State, man. You've always been there. We've always had great conversations. So thank you for your leadership and what you do.
Man, that means a lot, and I appreciate you sharing it publicly. You didn't have to do that. You've told me before, but to put that out there like that, it's much appreciated to do that. Mike, if you would, go ahead and follow up and get a chance to get a question to Coach Berry.
Yeah, good morning, Coach Berry. And again, congratulations to you and on such a tremendous season. You have a master motivator reputation. I don't know if you know it or not, and I know a lot of it, and I agree with you. To God be the glory. You talk a lot about the process, and where it started last year, and you mentioned Stephen J. Covey and Start with the End in Mind. And I'm a fan of that book as well. So can you talk? You talk about this process. Were there any pivotal moments, if you can look back this last 1 year, where last year in the game up to now, any pivotal moments that just stand out in your mind, and it's like, all right, that was a changing moment, or this was a changing moment, or this was a defining moment, if you will.
Well, this season, I think it was kind of twofold. I think we went, obviously we knew there was going to be some challenges in the month of September with having University of South Carolina on the schedule, University of South Florida on the schedule. Now, we went in to win. I don't think we just showed up for a check. We went in to try. We went in to win it, and unfortunately, it didn't go our way. But we knew it was going to be challenges. We always say in our program, in August you put it all together, and then September you find out who you are. In September, and then October you start playing your best ball. Okay, so you can make it in November to remember. All right, and then when you win November and October, now you can get an opportunity to play in December, and that's kind of was the whole process. When you look at our game versus Charleston Southern, where we went into that place, we went to Charleston Southern, and we lost a close football game, but it was moments in that game where what we preach in our dig deep acronym is the first is discipline. We showed some uncharacteristic plays in that game that cost us the game that didn't involve discipline. So we learned from that. But even though we lost the game, we learned from that game, and it really, really blossomed them to winning 8 in a row. But when we had that week off after that, I just told the team, man, you got to believe first and foremost, man. You got to believe in this process. And I tell you what, we went into that Norfolk game. We knew we had an off week to really get ready for Norfolk State. After I think we played A&T and a couple other teams in that moment, and then we had an off week. And I said, it's MEAC time now, man. It's 1-0 every day. It's 1-0 every week. And we start getting better and better and better and better. And as we sit here today, man, adversity struck again in the first half of that game. I mean, it struck. And when you're up against the trouble, you got to meet it squarely face to face, lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet, take a brace. And when I got in halftime, people think that I was flipping chairs and cutting up. No, that's really not what I did. I did total opposite in that. I let the coaches know and I let the players know that I believe in. Then at halftime, I pulled Jordan Smith to the side, number 5, and I said, Jordan, I'm going to take the ownership in that first half because you only touched the ball one time. So we're going to find every way, because you are our best player on offense, we're going to find every way to get you the football. And it's not about plays, it's about players. And as you can see, Jordan Smith made plays because he is a player. And I'm grateful for him, man, because he's such an outstanding young man. And he's been in this program. He's the only guy on our whole entire 105-man roster that was on the 2021 team. So he's seen the ebb and flow. He's seen the highs. He's seen the lows. And I'm just grateful to be standing here right now as his coach, man, because he really means a lot to me. Great young man, great family. He's going to be a great father. He's going to be a great husband. He's going to be a great leader in this community. I know when he goes out into the world, he's going to do well because he's an outstanding human being.
Amazing. Appreciate you sharing that. AD, go ahead, get the last question in there so we can let Coach Berry get back to it.
Coach, I want to ask you an actual game question. Get to the 2-point shootout portion of the overtime, as I like to call it, and we know on your board you've got certain 2-point plays that you have confidence in that you want to run. A lot of times you probably ran one of them during the game, either for a 2-point conversion or a 4th and 1 or something like that. So when you get to the 2-point shootout portion of the game and you are going down the play chart and trying to figure out, what we're going to call right here based on what we've seen for 4+ quarters, talk us through that process and just talk us through how do you get to that point. And I'm going to ask this a quick follow-up. If we have overtime 5, overtime 6, how creative do you have to be when you're going through that play chart to find another play that hopefully will be the difference? Because even if you score, the other team can still score and tie you up. So you have to be able to go deeper into the playbook.
All right, first of all, you're gonna make me remember these 2-part questions now. So I'm gonna try to do it. That was a long one right there, man. I'm gonna try to remember that, man.
2-point play.
All right, man. I got you, man. So for us, I always talk about, yeah, man. double questioning me, man. I can't remember like that, man. You gotta give me one at a time, man. All right. So
Don't take the shorthand on the questions, man. What?
All right, I got you. All right, so for us, you hear me say a quote all the time. Okay, separation is in the preparation. Okay, so all year, I'm talking about every week, we have a menu of 5 to 6 2-point plays that we can always pull out if that opportunity comes. Every Thursday, regardless if we use the play or not, we take a 10-minute portion of practice and we practice all of our 2-point plays. The ironic thing is we hadn't had to use any of them all season. That's God. And I'm gonna tell you else what's God. We talk about situation football all the time. We practice situations probably more than we practice anything. Third down, red zone, backed up, overtime. All right, we practice those things in practice. When we get out of stretch, how I generate the momentum of practice is we always start with a situation, but nobody knows the situation but me. All right, the players don't know, the coaches don't know. I come up with a situation because you got to be prepared for the moment because you never know when that moment is going to come. And that moment actually came. That was our very first overtime game, I think, since I've been at South Carolina State, to be honest. So we practice those moments. And those 2-point plays, like I say, we practice them every week. On Thursday, we do them. And again, a lot of times it's versus the air. But we put that ball on the 3-yard line. We pick the hash we want it on, and we practice. And we were able to pull from that menu that they do all the time. They do it every week. So when that moment comes, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. So our young men, they stay ready for the moment, and then we have an opportunity to capitalize when those moments came.
It's good. You answer both parts in one, Coach. So you don't have to remember the second part.
Thank you.
He's a champion, man. He's a multi-champion and now HBCU national champion. That's what champion coaches do. Coach, thank you for the honor allowing me to have the opportunity to engage with you over the years. Extremely proud in terms of what you're able to do in terms of changing the lives of young men and women that are around that program in a lot of ways, and certainly what you've done to celebrate South Carolina State Bulldogs. I'd be remiss to that and give you a chance to shout them out and say whatever you want to do in closing, Coach.
I just want to tell all Bulldog Nation, alumni, fans, all the support system that comes throughout that I'm just grateful that you gave me an opportunity to lead this program. You know, there's so many greats before me, but you gave me an opportunity to lead this program. I'm just grateful that we can reward you with, national championship, and really that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Like I say, it is a ministry, and I don't take it lightly. I'm a father and I'm a husband first. So I have kids, I have a wife. So I try to lead my home the right way. And I want to lead these young men that good Lord has entrusted in me to be able to lead. So I don't take it lightly. So I'm grateful that we all can celebrate for a little while. Because once we get back, I'm on to 2026.
That's man. Coach, so, I know.
You got to play the next play, man. I can't. Somebody else trying to get better. Somebody watching me, man. Somebody got their eyes on me, man. So I got to make sure, man, they can't outwork me, man. So I got to get ready for the next season, man. But we're gonna enjoy this for a little while. Tell our team after every game, man, enjoy it for 24 hours. But the thing about this one, they can enjoy it a little bit more. We're gonna have to prepare for another opponent. And I told them just empty the tank, man. Just whatever it takes, empty the tank, man. Let it go. All right, leave it. This is a legacy. This isn't just for them winning it this year. It's for their kids, for their grandkids, for their great grandkids. Nobody can ever take it away. And in 2025, they were HBCU national champions. So to God be the glory one more time.
Amen. No doubt.
Amen. Amen.
Coach, I got a chance to get down to Raleigh to see you all with that big matchup against North Carolina Central. Obviously, I know this year the game will be down there in Orangeburg, and I'm looking to see if I can find my way down there to, if not that matchup, some of your home game. Check you out at home and see what that atmosphere. I've heard so much positive about it. I want to celebrate you and the team. Congratulations again to Dr. Bills inside the HBCU Sports Lab with you're looking at the championship head coach of the South Carolina State Bulldogs. We'll be right back after this break. Have a great one, Coach.
Yeah, enjoy your day. Go Dogs. 1-0.
That's right. That's right. 1-0.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU image, a Kenny T's company.
Greetings, Santhus. My name is Roland Austin, and I'm one of the directors at the 1876 Athletic Foundation. The 1876 Athletic Foundation was formed to promote the success of all 343 student athletes. Our overall goal is to fund scholarships for all of our student athletes. We ask that you help us in achieving this goal by donating to the 1876 Athletic Foundation via the QR code below or 1876.foundation. Your generous donation will help us continue to assist the needs of all of our Panther athletes. Thanks, and go Panthers.
At Automasters LLC, our mission is to serve our community by providing quality automobiles at affordable prices. All of our vehicles are inspected and certified to offer you the confidence in knowing you have a quality vehicle. Our goal is to provide you with a seamless process and positive experience for your automobile purchase. Financing recommendations and specific vehicle inquiries are available at your request. You can find us at www.automasters06.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Also, please feel free to contact Terrence Miles at 601-927-7794. And oh yeah, tell him Sonia sent you.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We have none other than Mike Washington, A.D. Drew, and Brian Fulford for this last segment. We will do a way too early top 7. So I want to get y'all thoughts on that. But before we get in there, obviously, this is a play that a lot of folks just can't get out of their grill, which is tough because it was a classic or overtime game. You really would like to focus on all this stuff, but it's out there. You even had the Atlantic that doesn't always give a lot of love to HBCUs, but for whatever reason, this stuck out to them, and they got an article on there that I thought was fascinating in terms of, they call it the worst call of the season. But I'll start with you, Brian. What did you see in the play? What were your thoughts when you were watching and saw it live, and then after you saw the replay?
Well, first off, good morning, guys. Sorry, I wish I could have been in Atlanta with you guys. I was all but ready to celebrate with you, Mike and Doc, and man, I had a drink.
That field goal, I was like,
when that field goal went right, boy, I took a drink for y'all. I thought of y'all. I was like, damn.
Mike was in there talking about he didn't even want to take the time to do the shot. He just wanted to introduce intravenous.
What was interesting about the play was, and I think this, I don't know about what it was like for you guys there, but from the television perspective, we've always been told.
Before you do that, I'm gonna tell you, since you asked that question.
Okay.
Mike and I were upstairs, right? And we tend to come down about 4 minutes because usually game is in a position where you can do that. Last time I remember that taking place where it was a little different, why I waited and said I wouldn't do that again, was the Jackson State, North Carolina Central game, which ultimately overtime. So, and had that play that sent into overtime, which probably is the one that a lot of people want to put at the top. So you'll probably go back between these two with that. And there's some other ones people want to put in there. Controversial call in that Alcorn State A&T game, whether it was a touchdown catch or no catch, that was ruled no catch in the game. Is another one. that had this kind of clamor. But so we come down with a minute something left and get in the elevator, so you just miss everything, right? So we did it right after South Carolina State scored. You're like, all right, there's a chance it's probably going to overtime. If we get down there quick enough, if there is a drive that they set up for a field goal or a big play, kickoff or something, you'll get a chance maybe to see that. So at the end of the game, the rules is, just for those that don't understand covered media, you got to have a media pass that says field, and that's really for photographers from the game. So traditional media that don't do the photographer part of it, they can do pre-game up to right at the start of the game, and then they can do post-game. Well, the game wasn't over, so it wasn't no post-game. So now, since we're down there, you don't want to go back upstairs. You go to the media room, you set up. One thing's good about getting there early is you get a prime seating area, particularly if you want to do your camera shot up and questions like that. You want a prime seat to make sure you can get good visuals on your videos and pictures that you take. So they have the game being played in there. So we're motion going back and forth, who's going to get out in the field, and you have all these ebb and flows. So take it away from there.
Well, we've all heard about the pylon, and I think most of us have always heard the phrase the pylon and the line there's an infinite boundary. There's a line that extends
a perpetual plane.
Perpetual plane, something to that effect. We've heard that before in other sports. Well, what was confusing in watching it, because you do see the replay and you don't see him reach the ball over necessarily. You see him reach it once he gets out of bounds. But the quote unquote rules expert never used the word about the boundary and the line. He referenced, being inbounds and putting the ball over the top of the goal, or he never mentioned this perpetual plane that we all hear. So as I'm, because I'm watching it at home and I'm on social media and stuff and the live people doing the watch parties, I'm sure everybody is thinking, oh, that call is going to be reversed. And apparently when they use the terminology upheld, essentially they're saying that we don't have a clear enough video angle, despite what you just saw. Despite what you just saw. Now, I don't know about you. I wear glasses, and my prescription is bad as hell. But I don't know what more evidence because you can see the ball, you can see the guy, you can see the. I don't know what they're looking at, but anyway, maybe they got a 480p little camera that they're looking at the Celebration Bowl. I don't know, but the part that bothered me was I was curious because I've never seen that angle from that high, because that's from off of a sky cam. That's not even sky cam. That's not the sky cam. That's a camera that's in the rafters somewhere, because the sky cam doesn't get that high. Trust me, Drew. We've done games next to the guys who do the sky cam. That camera is not that high. So I had no idea where that camera came from. I'd never seen that one before. But I kept thinking, damn, where's the sideline? Where's the angle, like right there at the pylon? Where's the pylon cam that they just used the week before in the SEC championship game? I don't know. Maybe they took that. Maybe the SEC took that with them back to Birmingham. I don't know. But that's what was disappointing about not having a better angle. But also, it was really bad by the quote unquote rules expert. I mean, it took Willie Simmons going social media to explain about the infinite line. God bless Willie Simmons for clearing it up for everybody, because I was one of those people saying, "Oh man, PV got robbed. It's a shame that the Celebration Bowl, came down to no good camera angles." So but then again, look, I understand people can say, well, if PV would have kicked the field goal, he wouldn't have been in this situation. I get it, but it was very confusing until it wasn't, thanks to Willie Simmons, because we all heard what Willie Simmons said. We've all heard that by every other rules expert in college football and professional football games. I don't know why this rules expert didn't choose to share that. So
I do want to, and I added this in Willie Simmons' thing, and I thought his statement was absolutely dead on. But I think what people are missing is if you actually have the rules, and I'll read that. And this was I posted under there, which is I think what a lot of folks were discussing, because this is the point that I think is throwing some people off. While he says it extends infinity, he's absolutely correct. But the part that I think he's missing that a lot of folks are questioning is this part. When a football analyst says that the goal line extends to infinity, it means the imaginary plane of the goal line goes up and out past the sidelines, allowing a touchdown if a player with the ball touches the pylon. Pretty much everybody knows that one, right? Or breaks that extended plane, even if their body is out of bounds, simplifying scoring at the corner of the end zone. Essentially, the pylon marks the corner of the infinite plane, which is what he said, touching it with the ball or the ball crossing it. So what many people are arguing is it's obvious it didn't touch. The folks that are arguing saying the ball never crossed it. So it doesn't matter where it extends. At some point, by the definition here, it has to cross it. And I think that's what people are arguing. To your point, that's what the naked eye people were seeing, that it never crossed it. But I think it goes back to your original point. It's not so much whether they understood the infinity. What, based on how we interpret the rules, is they didn't feel they had enough evidence to overturn what they called on the field. So it's not about the rules. Somehow. What people are mad at because they said just what you said.
Yes.
It looks like from everybody that sees it in these different, and that's why you got this Atlantic, and we played it over the top. It clearly shows that most of the part he didn't touch it. And depending on who you are, some people's eyes and angles, they may say, yeah, it did cross it. But for most folks to see it, certainly for those Prairie View folks out there, and some other SWAC folks, like, I never did even cross it. I think that's the difference then, I think, where Willie didn't provide the clarity. Right. He shared the rules. Shout out to Coach Simmons, my guy. But I don't think that's what people were questioning. Everybody watches enough football this time. As you illustrated, most people understand and heard the extension. The question that's there is, does the ball not have to cross it at some point? And those that are making the argument, they're saying it didn't cross it. Those that are saying, yes, it did cross it, which obviously you decide either way. But the secondary point is, even if it did, if they can't see it clearly, they have to stick with the call.
Original. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Because if there was no touchdown on the field, it would have been no touchdown by replay, I believe.
By replay, yeah.
Right. So wanted to get into that. I think we discussed that ad nauseum. So let's get in and pull up the PowerPoint way too early so we can have some fun and get y'all to get some more discussion. I know you all have the extended version tonight, so you get a chance to really get into this. You'll see more things and more arguments all day long. So it'll be intriguing to see what you all do tonight in Brown and AD.
You will have a show on fumes tonight. I will say that, Dr. Cavil.
So this major division way too early. 2026 preseason rankings. Hey man, you got to do it. This is how you sell the brand, right? And so let's pull it up. See what y'all think. At number 7, Delaware State Hornets, 8-4, 4-1. Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, 6-6, 5-3. I had in number 6. Number 5, North Carolina Central, 8-4, 3-2 is what they did this year. Jackson State just comes in number 4. I Love will be quite upset. 9-3, 7-1. Number 3, Prairie View A&M Panthers at 10-4, 7-1. Both of those have 3 votes respectively for that. Some people believe they'll be first. At number 2, you have Alabama State Hornets, also with 3, 10-2, 71. All intentions look like quarterback will be coming back. There may be a lot of that. And then South Carolina State Bulldogs, it's hard to argue with Coach Chinsbury that we had on the show that he can't do a three-peat in terms of making it to the Cricket Celebration Bowl and then seeing if he can do it back-to-back, which hadn't been done in some time. I'm going to go to you, AD. What are your thoughts in terms of this way too early top 7 2026 preseason rankings?
Doc, I'm waiting until next week's show when you reveal the way too early bottom 7 teams. And the reason why I am waiting on that is because in today's transfer portal era,
Yep.
I'm going to say 3 of the teams that you reveal in that poll will be
Interesting.
on this poll by the end of next season.
And
And
to throw out a
I'll give
school
you
or two that you think may at least have a coach in place that can push to get players from the transfer portal, or that somebody might be bringing in a coach they think that could get that done.
let's let the coaching hiring and movement phase settle down because we may
Okay.
see
No,
some of
you
these
don't want to
coaches,
play with us. We'll
the
allow
head
you
coach.
to
No,
put
I'm not gonna
simple
play the game, Dr.
discuss.
Cavill.
Right, that's
The,
what I said. We'll allow you to.
yeah,
So
and
let me go to
all right.
Mike and see what he has here. What are you thinking in terms of the top 7?
Man, I need to do this with a little bit more libation in my cup than what you asking me. I mean, come on, man. I need to see coaching movements. I need to see portal movements. But you know what? Because I love you, Doc, I'll be your Huckleberry. I'll go ahead and play. So you got 2 teams that are from the West that are not on here. Prairie View's the only team from the West, the SWAC West, not on here.
Right.
You got.
I was wondering if you say that. Yep.
Yeah. So Grambling beat Bethune. Alcorn finished
Yes.
the season strong. They
Yes.
beat Grambling. So why not? Because Texas Southern is going to come in. You don't know who the quarterback's going to be, but they're coaching, and
you think the West is back for good?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would add 2 or 3 teams from the West, absolutely on here. And then Delaware State, you got to think that they're gonna come. They're gonna come back strong. So that's the biggest thing that stands out is we came into the season saying ain't gonna be nobody. You don't know who coming out the West. Well, it turns out the 2 or 3 teams from the West were pretty strong. I think they'll perpetually get stronger. There's that term, perpetually get stronger going into 2026. That's my only point. That's the only one I'm gonna throw to this way too early. Now you ask me next week when I have a glass of Chablis or Cabernet Sauvignon from 22, I got more for you.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Our guest coming in here, Brian, we'll let you close it on your thoughts here. Where you go?
Oh, wow, Doc. So I like the top 4. And what I like about the top 4, you got stability in head coaches. We don't believe any of these coaches are going anywhere. We also believe that all of them have a returning quarterback coming back. To some degree. I don't know about South Carolina State's quarterback situation entirely. Maybe you guys can tell me about Stubblefield, but I know he's been there for a minute. And I thought I heard them say Atkins was in his last year, but
that was his last year.
Yeah. So, but
Stubblefield is a senior out of Houston.
Okay. If nothing else, I think South Carolina State has proven that they are going to be in the top 4. I would start my year with Alabama State, honestly, at number 1. I mean, short of the injury to Andrew Body, they challenged, and came within a play of beating Jackson State. So I think you can shuffle, these teams anyway. But I would give the edge preseason poll to Andrew Body and Alabama State over Jackson State and Jared Lockhart by just a smidge. Now, again, I think Alabama State has to do a great job of retaining some of that talent via their NIL, so that'll be interesting. Cam Peters is coming back for Prairie View.
No, that was it.
No, that was it?
That's it.
But they did get in the orderly signing period and have a couple of quarterbacks.
They have a couple of quarterbacks signing, yes.
Okay.
Well, really nice.
So in that case, so here's I would go Alabama State 1, Jackson State 2, South Carolina State 3, Prairie View 4. That's how I would go in my top 4. Now, I have no idea what Central is bringing back. Harris Walker, gone. The 2 quarterbacks from Bethune-Cookman, gone. I don't know if Delaware State's returning that trio. I think they may have lost their running back. So they're gone. I would for jokes and giggles, I would put FAMU at number 5 because we probably gonna have we are gonna have a new coach. And I like our chances. We are the only unbeaten SWAC school to win a Celebration Bowl, so there's that part. So I like our chances at number 5. Plus, we stirred a drink. So just to get your poll going and to get people like Israel Carey and Dr. Israel Carey and all the other folks in the chat riled up, I would put us at number 5.
Jackson State was unbeaten and won the Celebration Bowl.
Huh?
Who?
I thought Jackson State was also unbeaten and won the Celebration.
No.
You talking about being undefeated in the Celebration?
The only team from the SWAC to be unbeaten in the Celebration Bowl. Prairie View had y'all chance. Y'all had y'all chance, y'all blew it. But
I was talking about Jackson State. I'm trying to figure out.
No, I don't care about what you did prior to the Celebration Bowl, Doc. I'm talking about when you leave out of Atlanta. When you walk in Atlanta and you leave out of Atlanta, like Coach just said, who was 1-0? FAMU 1-0, baby. That's what I'm talking about. North Carolina A&T 1-0. That's all I'm talking about.
I was just trying to get clear what you were saying. You were saying the only SWAC institution that is undefeated in the celebration.
In playing a Celebration Bowl game. Yes.
I will agree.
Jackson State and Grambling had won the Celebration Bowl, so I wasn't clear.
They also lost. They also lost one. They also lost one.
Right.
Yes.
I will agree with you, Brian, that the first 4 are stable next year. I wasn't talking about those when I said the West. I was talking about 5, 6, and 7. From my perspective, you could rearrange the first 4 in any kind of order just based on head coaching.
So you don't trust Coach in North Carolina Central?
I don't know what he's got coming back in his quarterback room. You know, I don't know. I mean, you don't know what's coming back. He would be
South Carolina State.
I think, I might put he'd be in the top 7, but I wouldn't. I think Grambling will be a player potentially. I think Mike. All jokes aside, Mike was talking about the West. I think Prairie View will be Grambling State will be worth paying attention to going into next year. So hey. It's way too early, folks.
It's way too early.
Way too early. Don't jump on. Don't beat me up. Don't beat Doc up. Don't beat me up. It's way too early. We don't have no data.
Here. This is the end of football season in terms of teams.
Just having fun, taking screenshots and stuff. Relax.
We wanted to stretch it out a little bit and give you something to talk about in the off season. Yes, Drew.
Can I play that little marketing ploy? That marketing ploy.
Now you want to play, Drew?
I want to play the game. I just want to say this. Florida A&M, the only SWAC team who did not have to lose a Celebration Bowl game before they won a Celebration Bowl game, but maybe that's because of our BAC roots. I'm going off camera because I don't want y'all to say nothing about that.
I think Grambling won the first one.
Grambling won the first one. Yes.
They came back and lost the second one.
Yes. Grambling won the first. Let's not forget.
Drew was trying to be cute. Drew was
I
trying.
know.
Drew was
Drew,
trying
you
to
know
be
you
cute.
did.
You know the historian. It's hard, especially if you come off the code.
You should have just left it where I left
Man,
it, Drew.
let's
I
get
tried
out of
to.
here.
I tried to give us a walk off. I tried to give
Atlanta.
FAMU a walk off.
You had a walk off, and you just blew the game.
I was trying to take a shot at that other institution who don't know how to shut up in the chats.
You had a
Because
walk off, and you just blew it.
and because they talking about, and I'm trying to defend y'all back because they talking about y'all blew it.
You gotta understand.
But they gotta remember they lost their first time too.
You gotta remember, Mike and I different. We
times.
don't allow them folks to mess with it. This the other folks that they get on in there. Y'all like to play the games with them. We don't play the games with them. They had their chance. They lost at home.
Yes, they did. The only SWAC East school to lose at home, by the way. All right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. I don't want it's Sunday. It's Sunday. I don't want my mentions blown up until about 6 o'clock tonight. So I'm gonna stop.
Brian, I don't need church. I don't need to go to church today because I've been listening to Chittisberry all week. So I done got my church in.
There you go.
Man, Mike, let's get out of here. Literally, let's get out of Atlanta.
Yeah. Let me get out of here. I got to.
For listening to Inside
go.
the HBCU Sports Lab, make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I am Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. He is traveling back. He had an early flight. He had some things he needed to do this afternoon, but I want to shout out Brian and AD, other part of the BCSN team that always comes in and make sure that you get some great coverage of the HBCU sports throughout the year. With this culminates our last Sunday show, unless we have some special events, but essentially for the football season, we go back to our regular schedule Tuesday and Thursday. So these gentlemen do not have to worry about me waking them up early on Sunday morning after traveling and trying to figure out how to wait. We're going to give you a sports show on Sunday morning to give you a recap. So with that, I want to say thank you to these gentlemen. Thank you to all the lab listeners. In all seriousness, we appreciate whatever you're saying out there. It is fascinating, and we appreciate that. Last thing I will say, that is a picture of Mike at the SWAC championship game that they caught that has become legendary that I have to get a picture for to put up in my room to celebrate my big brother, Mike Washington, in terms of his excitement. Caught him on film. He cannot deny it. So the tip of a cap to him officially.
Did you post that photo? I got to see that photo. Put that in there. I got to see that. I haven't seen that photo.
Yeah, I'll put it in there right after we get off the show so you can give him a little more excitement about that razzing. Again, in serious, thank you all, gentlemen. Thanks for all the lab listeners. We'll be back at it. It's time to give you a little more updates throughout the week, but it's time to shift. It looks like everybody has the time to get to know their point guard as we go to basketball, men's and women's, where we have 100 games on SWAC TV on that side of it. And obviously you have your MEAC games on ESPN. And then we make sure SIC TV, CIAA, and we'll get you some updates on that side of things from Drew and the experts out there that cover that. So again, thank you for listening inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share your podcast with your friends and colleagues. As I said, I am Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Again, we want to thank you for listening to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 o'clock. We'll stick with that. No more Sunday morning updates, as I said. Unless we have a special edition, we might shout that out to you. We look forward to next week as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Follow me, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, DrKenyattacavil, threads, Facebook and Instagrams. Let me also say thank you to all those folks that come up and give me a shout and say support and watch the show. It is much love and appreciated. All the accolades, including all those that do that. Thank you for your support. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook, Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big, continue to move forward. A shout out to Coach Berry. Congratulations to the South Carolina State Bulldogs on the HBCU Major Division Championship and winning the Cricket Celebration Bowl for 2025. We will talk with you, Mike.
Of course.
Brian.
Lecture.
80.
Dismiss.
That you gonna go out that week? You gonna go out that week, AD? Come on, man.
Man, these calves affecting my voice, man, from all that walking, man. Dismiss, y'all.
That's thank you.